Today we're going to make 5-minute artisan bread, and I originally got this recipe from the 5-minute artisan bread book, which you can check out from your library or online. But this is the basic recipe for the basic bread, and I've been doing this bread for about 6 years now, so I've pretty much perfected it. So I'm going to walk you through the ingredients. Super easy, super fast. As I said, it takes 5 minutes. So the first thing you're going to need is a container. And because I make this bread so much, I just use a Rubbermaid mixing, just a storage container. You can use a big bowl if you want to. But it's got to be large because the bread is going to rise. You're going to need 3 cups of water. You're going to need salt, yeast, and flour. And I basically do half and half. So I buy this flour from Costco, and I get 2 big 10-pound bags of it for $14. And then for my whole wheat, I use this one here, Bob's Red Mill. And it's great. I'm very happy with it. And what I do is I will put, it's 6½ cups of flour. So you can do all whole wheat or you can do all white. It's up to you. I do half and half. And then I put them in a big bowl and I kind of mix them together with a whisk. And then I put it aside. So what we're going to do is put the water in first. We're going to add our yeast. And I add 1½ tablespoons. And then with the salt, the original recipe says 1½ tablespoons of salt, but I just use like minuscule. So that's probably 1 teaspoon. And it doesn't make a difference in the bread taste. And then I just mix it around like this. And then I just pour the flour in. And I just do it all at once. And then we just mix it with the spoon. You can use a wooden spoon, a rubber spoon, whatever spoon you have. So you want it to have this kind of consistency where it's sticky, but it's not like sticking to the spoon. It's kind of just rubbing off. And we're going to let this sit on the counter. We're going to put the top on, let it sit for about 2½ to 3 hours. And we're going to make 2 types of bread today. We're going to make 1 Italian loaf. This can make 2, so you cut it in half, you do 2. But we're going to do 1, and then with the other half, we're going to make some pita bread. And it'll be delicious. So we're going to cover it, and I'll see you guys when it rises. So when you put the cover on, I just put it on top. I don't seal it in. If you don't have a cover and you're using a bowl like this, then just cover it with aluminum foil and you're good to go. So it's been 3 hours, and as you can see, it has totally poofed up, and you can see why I use the big container. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I make little pita breads, and you can make these as thick as you want or as thin as you want. They're delicious any way you decide to do them. And what I do is I just sprinkle flour over the area that I'm going to use. Sprinkle some flour on a little work surface. And we're going to just tear off kind of like a lemon size, depending on how thick you want it. If you want it to be a fat pita, then just get more. And I'm just going to flatten it out. And I'm going to use a rolling pin. And we're going to sprinkle some more flour on it because I don't want it to stick. And just keep flattening it out. Now the way I'm going to do it for my sandwich is I'm going to fold it like that when I make my sandwich. And we're going to take this over to a hot cast iron skillet. Okay, so my cast iron skillet is really hot, and notice I'm not adding oil. So I'm just gonna place it in there. Just let it kind of dry fry for a few minutes. So it's been about a minute and a half, and as you can see, it has not stuck, and we're gonna flip it now. And you can make these as crunchy or as soft as you want. Okay, so it's been about 2.5 minutes altogether, and I'm gonna take it out. And as you can see, it's perfect. Okay, so now we're going to make the bread, the Italian bread. And if you don't have a breadstone, then you can use a pan with just some parchment paper, which is what I did for years and years until I bought a breadstone. So that is your option. So right now I'm just going to use parchment paper, which I slide off, you'll see, onto my breadstone. And we're going to prepare this, and we put some flour on the bottom here, and then I'm going to put flour on here. The best thing about this recipe is that whatever is left, you put in your fridge, and it'll be good for probably 5 or 6 days, and then you just bake from the fridge. So you already have your dough ready. And I just keep flouring as I go. And then I just turn it and suck up some of this flour and just tuck it in the bottom. See the bottom, how I'm just tucking in? I just keep turning, and then I'm just gonna kind of roll it on here a little bit, and then just tuck. I'm gonna get a knife. Okay, ready? I'm gonna cut my slits like that. Sprinkle again on top, and then I'm going to set it on my oven until my oven reaches 450. So the heat is coming up, which will probably take about 5 minutes, and then we're going to slide it in the oven. Okay, so my oven's 450. Here's the bread, and we're going to slide it in. Kind of like that. Just like that. And I'm going to bake it for about 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, so I just took my bread out of the oven, and the house smells delicious. And this is what it looked like, and as you can see, I call it a nipple. It grew a nipple, and they're just beautiful. And so this is it, and you want it when you tap it to sound hollow. Moist. Perfect.